Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town Council's meeting for Monday, July 15th. Thank you to those who are tuning in virtually, as well as to those who've joined us in person tonight. We are now called to order, which is the first item on the agenda. Next, we'll have the opening prayer. Councilmember Dixon, would you mind? Okay.
God, we thank you for your love and we thank you for your mercy. God, we just want to thank you that we're here today. Father God, I pray that you bless our residents and our police officers in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much, Council Member. And next, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, okay. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the approval. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. I would ask for one addition under presentations. We had planned for Ms. Ruby White and would like to just make sure that's on the agenda. Any concerns with that from the council? All right, so with that, we'll go to the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. The agenda is approved. At this time, we'll move right into presentations, which I think most folks are here for, Chief, for you. So we'll turn it over to you at this time.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Mayor, council, community, colleagues, and family. This is the part of my job that I take a lot of pride in, but I wouldn't be able to do this without the hard work of our recruiters, background investigators, and our staff that put this together, as well as our quartermaster, to make sure that when we bring new people onto the Bladensburg Police Department team, we bring the right people, because we want to make sure our citizens get the top-notch police services that they deserve in this community. So without further ado, I'd like to call up Mr. Jerry McCauley to the front for a swearing in. Hey! So if I can have Mayor James join me down in the front. It's all right.
She can stand with them. Yeah, I'll do it right here. All right, he's the star of the show. He can stand right there. Yeah.
So because it's being televised,
And I'm going to share the mic so it captures both of us, if that's okay. But please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jerry McCauley, Jr.,
I, Jerry McCauley, Jr.,
having been duly appointed
having been duly appointed
as a police officer,
as a police officer,
effective July 15, 2024,
effective July 15, 2024,
for the town of Bladensburg,
for the town of Bladensburg,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will bear true allegiance
I will bear true allegiance
to the United States of America,
to the United States of America,
the state of Maryland,
the state of Maryland,
and the town of Bladensburg,
and the town of Bladensburg,
that I will support the charter
that I will support the charter
and laws of Prince George's County
and laws of Prince George's County
and and the town of Bladensburg,
and the town of Bladensburg,
and that I will obey
and I will obey
the orders of the governor
the orders of the governor
and the officers appointed over me
and the officers appointed over me
according to the rules and regulations
according to the rules and regulations
of the Bladensburg Police Department.
of the Bladensburg Police Department.
I will,
I will,
to the best of my skill,
to the best of my skill,
judgment, and ability,
judgment, and ability,
with diligence and faith,
with diligence and faith,
and without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office
execute the office
of police officer
of police officer
for the town of Bladensburg, Maryland.
for the town of Bladensburg, Maryland.
And while we're doing that, we want to welcome Councilmember Macaulay, who's here from the town of Bladensburg. This is her wonderful son. Thank you for recruiting for us, Betsy. This is how the Port Towns works together. All right. We love it.
So, Officer Macaulay, I take pride in this badge, this uniform, and this patch. So does all these other men and women that serve this great community of Bladensburg. So we are entrusting you to uphold the values and standards and meet the mission that we all subscribe to, provide to our council, to our community. And we say that it's a privilege to wear that uniform, but it's an honor to wear this badge. So we take great pride in pinning this badge on you, but I know at this moment you would like for your wife to pin you, and if you could join us up to the front. But I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, I know it's been a long wait,
Yeah.
but go ahead and stick them. He didn't take the trash out this morning.
You know he did.
Hey!
It's okay.
All right, okay. You want to hug him, kiss him? All right. Hold on 1 second. Can we take a picture? You want to? And Councilmember Macaulay, I would say that I met his mom before I met him, and she's been a great person over in the town of Edmiston. So,
And you know how much we love you.
that's right. Oh yeah, we love you more. Got to get command staff to join me up front. Command staff.
You guys in the back can just dance a little bit? Or
There we go. Got him. That took so many.
All right. If you want to get the council, you want to get the council? You guys want to take a picture? The main council.
You want us to join us?
We did, yeah. She's like, what are you?
You guys want to get in the picture? And the family, you guys want to join?
I'll be getting the back.
These are some Officer McCauley's former co-workers.
Oh, good.
We'll take a picture.
I'm just gonna lay across the front. No, it's not a party night.
I'll be fine.
Congratulations.
You gotta go.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. All right.
For those watching online, just give us a moment, and we'll be right back on schedule.
See you soon on our spot, okay?
If you guys want to adjourn over to the annex, we are in the live council session. We'll meet you over there.
All right, congratulations, and again, thanks to those who came out.
Thank you,
So next up, we have another special presentation. I know. Next, we want to recognize Miss Ruby White. And Miss Ruby, if you would join me at the podium, please. For those of you who don't know, this is Miss Ruby White. Now, I don't know how you could not know this, but she has been a wonderful staple in the town of Bladensburg for 15 wonderful years. She moved here in 2009 to take care of her mom, Miss Rosalie Jones, who is one of our centenarians, 102 this year as of April. And so Miss Ruby keeps her mom going. She keeps that building going. She has been just wonderful. So we, as a council, would like to present you with a proclamation of gratitude because we know you're moving back to Cali, going back to Cali. Yes. I don't know why Bladensburg wouldn't be there. Like, who cares about California sunshine? But if you have to go somewhere, I think California is okay. What do you think? So I would like to read this proclamation to you just so you can take it with you and think of your Bladensburg family. It says, Proclamation of Gratitude honoring Miss Ruby White, who has been a beloved resident of the town of Bladensburg, Maryland for 15 years, who is moving away from our community. And whereas Miss Ruby White was born in Orange, Virginia, September 25th, 1937, and has been a cherished member of our town for many years. Whereas Miss Ruby White is a devoted mother to her 5 children, Yvette, Sunny, Diane, Cheryl, and Crystal. And whereas Miss Ruby has made a significant contribution as manager at Long's Drugstore in California for many years, and then retired and went on to be a dedicated home health aide in her retirement, until she moved to Bladensburg to care for her wonderful mother, Miss Rosalie Jones. She is always caring for those in need with compassion and kindness. Whereas Miss Ruby White has been an active member of the Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, where she has shown unwavering faith and commitment to her community. And whereas the Bladensburg community sends our gratitude to Miss Ruby White for being a valued and diligent member of the town, serving as a member of the Ethics Commission and president of the Newton Green Tenant Council. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the town of Bladensburg, Maryland expresses our deepest appreciation to Ms. Ruby White for her many years of service, friendship, and dedication to our town. We will miss her presence dearly, and we wish her all the best as she embarks on a new chapter in Merced, California, but Bladensburg will always be her home.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So that's a little something for you, and we also have a goodie bag for you.
Okay.
So as you're packing for this trip, you will not forget about us when you get to your new location.
Thank you so very much.
Again, we just wanted to express our gratitude, Miss Ruby. You have been amazing. Council members, would you like to express any remarks for Miss Ruby before she makes her big move?
Miss Ruby, you're in Ward 1. Yes. So I just want you to know that it has been a pleasure having you as a neighbor, as a resident. I've learned from you as a staple in the community. And I just want you to know that you've made a very big impact on me.
Thank you.
And it has been a pleasure having you. I'll tell you one thing, Miss Ruby, she gonna tell you. She ain't gonna cut no slack there, you know. She gonna tell you what she thinks. She gonna do it nice, but she gonna let you know, okay? And that's what you need. That's a good quality. And so I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. I love you forever in my heart. We'll miss you truly, but we'll stay connected because with all this technology nowadays, we can do what WhatsApp. You have WhatsApp on your phone.
I don't have that.
So we can FaceTime.
I don't know what that is.
We'll get scared.
I got FaceTime though.
So we can FaceTime. Okay, all right, but just want you to know, love you, gonna miss you, and definitely have safe travels.
Miss Ruby, I just want to say the first time I met you, it was your smile that just radiated the entire room in Newton Green.
Yes.
And when I met you, you just assured me that you were going to be there for me in terms of my running, and thank you for your vote as well. And Bladensburg is really going to miss you, and I'm going to miss your beautiful smile. And may God go with you and keep you and strengthen you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ward 2.
Miss Ruby, I wish you all the best. How did I learn about Miss Ruby? Well, I learned about Miss Ruby through a longtime resident in Parkview, Miss Dorothy Benjamin.
Oh, yes. We were dear friends.
Yes, and she recently moved away, and I told her, I was like, well, Miss Ruby is leaving, so I talked to her last week. She said, congratulations, and she wished the best for you, and I do as well. Thank you for
so much.
always being so polite, so nice. Thank you.
Hi, Miss Ruby.
Hi, honey.
You're the heart of Newton Green. You're the heart of Newton Green. I work with you on many occasions trying to bring all the seniors together. Wherever you go, make sure that if you visit a senior building and spread that same love
I will.
and sunshine there as well. And don't forget to tell them about Bladensburg.
I will.
Would you like to say a few
Sure,
words?
sure,
Okay.
sure.
Let me hold your goodie bag. Okay.
This has been is this on? I don't really need it. I got a big voice. It has been a pleasure for me to live in Bladensburg, Maryland. I never knew it existed until I got here. I came here in 2009 to take care of my aging mother. And I used to faithfully come to the town hall meetings, but COVID hit, and then we discovered that my mother had Alzheimer's. And so that limited my leaving her and going different places. But I have always watched what was going on. Thank God for TV. I want you to know that it has been a pleasure to serve Bladensburg in whatever capacity I was able to do. This is a nice little town. I loved it here, and I still do. I would not be leaving unless it was necessary for me to do so. But just rest assured, you're going to always be in my heart. I will always have fond memories of Bladensburg and all that it has put into my life, poured into my life. I've made some good friends. I've had some interesting times. I've had some hard times. I'm a very blunt, bold, say it like it is person, and sometimes everyone is not ready for that. And I had to learn to tone it down a little bit. I keep on telling them, but I smile while I do it now, Chief. I tell them and smile. That helps a little bit. But I want you to know, I am so proud of Bladensburg and the people who live here. You're great people. Keep on doing what you're doing. One of the things I will tell you to do is to pray for me, and I'll pray for you. Keep your hand in God's hand. Listen to what He has to say to you. And if you're not a believer, whatever higher power you need to talk to them and let them guide you. But my God is a good one. Trust me, He's a good advisor. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for all the goodness. I'm going to miss you all. And God bless you all.
And the last thing is, in our community, we always say, give you your flowers while you can smell them. And so these are for you. They may last just up until moving day.
Thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Give Walter a hug.
We are definitely going to miss that wonderful woman, I tell you. She is a gem, true treasure. All right. The next item on tonight's agenda, still sticking with presentations, is a presentation from Ms. Renee Green from our Patriotic Committee. Ms. Renee, over to you.
Good evening, Mayor James and Town Council and staff.
Good evening.
Good evening. The fireworks celebration on July 5th was a huge success. Everybody seemed to have a great time. I think it was maybe the hottest day of the year so far. I was at the town booth, and we had a lot of giveaways and everything. There was nothing left. Everyone really liked the cowboy theme, and the cowboy hats and the cowgirl hats were a huge success. People loved them, and they went like hotcakes. So that was fantastic. Now, the next thing that we have going on will be the 210th anniversary of the Battle of Bladensburg, and we're having the ceremony on Saturday, August the 24th at 11 o'clock at the Battle of Bladensburg Memorial. We do have a guest speaker. The guest speaker is Glenn Johnson. He is a history professor from Stevenson University. So we're very excited about him being our guest speaker. We'll have a lot of magnets and giveaways, the keychains for the Battle of Bladensburg 210th anniversary theme. They're very nice. I've seen them. They're wonderful. And there'll be plenty of refreshments, and hopefully we'll have hot dogs and everything for people to eat. Elizabeth Seton High School Choir will be performing at the event. So we're very excited about the memorial celebration and ceremony on the 24th. We look forward to seeing everyone there.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Ms. Green, for the report. Thank you also for supporting the town with the Independence Day celebration. It was so hot out there, but thank you for sticking through from start to finish and helping us to serve our residents. We truly appreciate you and look forward to the 24th.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your evening. Or, I'm sorry, Council, any questions before Ms. Green departs? Okay. Councilmember Dixon.
Ms. Renee, I just want to thank you for that great feedback regarding the 5th of July. I really appreciate that. Good to hear that we have great feedback. Thank you.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was a great evening.
Excellent. All right, so that concludes the Patriotic Committee update. That is the final presentation scheduled for tonight. Next, we'll move to item 6, with the approval of the council meeting minutes for June 10th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any questions or clarifications to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. And then next, we want to just follow up to the notification that was posted for our June 20th closed session meeting. It was closed meeting for 2 reasons. Number 1, pursuant to the general provisions of Maryland Article 3-305, Section B4, which gives the mayor and council the ability to close session to consider a matter that concerns the proposal for a business or industrial organization to locate, expand, or remain in the state. And then, that was the item for both. The outcomes of that meeting were listed here as a motion was made for the council to direct staff to obtain additional information from a property owner in town. And then secondly, a motion was made to engage with a commercial realtor regarding possible property acquisition. So again, both items or all the items discussed fell under Article 3-305, Section B4. And so with that, is there a motion to approve the closed session minutes? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any corrections or clarifications for the minutes for the closed session? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. At this time, we'll transition into public comment. And tonight, we'll hear from the Bladensburg Volunteer Fire Department President, Mr. Gary Katz. And Donnie, what is your title? I'm sorry.
Right now, I'm the first vice president for the PGCFR, the Prince George County Volunteer Firefighters Association.
Okay, so he is.
September, I'm the president.
Got it. So Donnie Wells is also the first vice president for the Prince George's County Volunteers Association for the firefighters. So with that, I'll turn it over to our speakers.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My name is, for those that don't know, my name is Gary Katz. I'm the president, deputy chief, and while Chief Sumner's on vacation, the acting chief. I don't know if that's good or bad yet. Tonight, I brought a couple of the statistics. I like to try to come at least quarterly, either myself or the chief, and give out those statistics. And then I brought he's also our vice president at the firehouse under me, along with the other array of things that he just mentioned, to answer any questions about the other things that are going on inside the county with career staffing and how it's affecting the county volunteers as a whole, since he's fallen into that position of head for all the volunteers. For the first 6 months of the year, the fire department ran a total of 2,203 calls. That is total calls across the entire county. And those are call numbers before the county removed some of the career staffing from what we consider the 4th Battalion, which is Bunker Hill, Bladensburg, College Park, Berwyn Heights, Riverdale Heights, and Greenbelt. Those are the ones that affect us specifically. Since then, just in the month of, where's my total for June? Just for the month of July so far, we have ran 166 calls throughout the entire county, as far as way as Bowie is the farthest one we've gone to. Since the July 1st removal of career personnel, we're going upwards of Lower Beltsville into Bunker Hill a lot more, and all the way to Greenbelt, and farther into 38 Chapel Oaks, and actually farther than that. 20, actually, yes, we were down in Silver Hill a couple times already, with both the ambulance and the fire trucks. Just to give you all a rough idea on the savings that the county is working on, a regular employee, of a 40-hour employee, 160 hours a month. 160 hours a month is 20 shifts, which is a total of, for the first 6 months, 960 hours. A firefighter position is 24 hours a day, 1 day on, 3 days off for Prince George's County. The daytime shifts are 8-hour shifts, 7 to, well, they consider it 7 to 3, 7 to 4, depending on if they're calls, but of course, if they're on a call, they get held over, depending on how big those calls are. That comes out to 192 hours for the month for a 24-hour shift, and for the 24-hour shifts, for a total of each individual career member minimum staffing at 1,152 hours for 6 months. This does not include mandatory overtime or the overtime that's built into their actual schedule. As most people know, you're working 24 hours, you get paid for those 24 hours. But that's their base pay. Our volunteers that are currently living at the firehouse, the biggest ones that are running the calls, the ones that are gracious enough to not have jobs when they can afford to, they usually pick up stuff at bouncers, security bars, stuff like that. Our highest one so far for the first 6 months of the year is at 3,033 hours. Just for the month of July, he is currently at 63 hours. And that fluctuates depending on, such as myself, who doesn't live there. I come in, I'm probably there, well, at the actual firehouse, about 48 hours a week. That doesn't include the hours that I put on at work, after hours, and other stuff such as that. Meetings are a big one. The way it's affecting us mostly is we are running farther. Our ambulance is out longer. Our engines are out longer. They're going farther away. The hospitals in, let's say, Silver Hills area, the closest hospital down that way is Southern Maryland, and I guess that's considered Clinton. So from there to try to get back, our ambulance could leave at 6 in the morning and not get back until 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon if they're lucky. And that has been done on multiple occasions. For the town of Bladensburg specifically, just this month alone, we have run 49 calls out of 166 total. So as you can see, about a third of our calls are actually in the town. The rest is out and about. Having the nice ambulance is a big plus for us because we do have the air conditioner. We do have better technology than what our county reserves are, although we are currently in a county reserve because of a headlight issue. But that is at the manufacturer getting fixed as we speak. So those are the normal numbers that I like to bring at least every 6 months. Like I said, I try to bring them quarterly. And then, as I said, I also brought Donnie Wells in case you all have any questions about the overall, how it's affecting the rest of the county.
So what I was going to ask is 2 agenda items down. We have a resolution for supporting the fire department. Can you hang for about 5 to 7 minutes until we get to that? Because I'd like to open it up for discussion
I can be here
and
as long
have
as you need. I didn't even bring my
Mr.
radio
Wells.
today.
Oh, because I was expecting you to run
Nope.
and hit the door
No,
like normal.
there's enough people that
Okay.
are more
Okay.
than- actually, the truck, the fire truck hasn't been there since about 2 o'clock this afternoon, so there's no one for me to to even go on a call for, because unless the fire truck is on a call, the chief can't go anyway. So
I see.
even if something happened right across the street, I wouldn't be allowed to go because our piece isn't on the call.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I can.
All right, so we will get to that because I do, once we read the ordinance and discuss it, want to turn it over to you for more information. We did discuss it in the work session, but in case you want to add anything to that agenda item. All
We're
right.
here to answer questions.
Thank you. All right, so that completes the public comment for tonight. We'll move right into financial business, beginning with ordinance number 01-2025, the first ordinance of the new fiscal year. As we discussed in the work session, this is an emergency ordinance, and so I'll turn it over to Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth for a brief recap.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This is again an emergency ordinance in regards to a recent incident that happened at, to address repairs due to a recent incident that happened at our Public Works Department. We had a vehicle strike our Public Works Department building on July 4th, 2024. This vehicle caused significant damage to the front of the building. Actually, I have photos. I don't know if the council would like me to show them, but I can put those up on the screen if I can get them large enough. So let me try to make
If you could, it might help for those who are watching
Yeah.
online to be able to see,
Okay,
since we
fine.
didn't show them in the work session.
So I will share that so that I can share. All right, so these are the initial, this is the initial damage that occurred to the Public Works building. The very front of the building was hit in the middle, and this actually shows it with the supports, which actually doesn't show it fully caved in. We've had supports that have been added to the building by Ernest Mayer. They actually came out within a day. They came out within 2 days on Saturday. The 6th, they came in, they helped, and they put these in. But the vehicle struck the middle, which is right by that, right by the, sorry, I'm trying to get my, right by the center, by this ladder in the center. And that is, it impacted both the doors and the middle of the building. As right now that we've got our town engineer, which is CPJ, is doing evaluation on the building to determine its long-term viability. It's currently condemned due to the strike to the building, and it was also partially condemned because that it hit the, if you can see this right here, there's an electrical box that was knocked down, so the power was turned off. That hasn't since been stabilized, but it's still the building still has some issues that we can no longer allow staff to go in there. So this agenda item again asks the council to approve $200,000, which would be sought from reimbursement by Legit. We've had Legit as the local government insurance trust. who is the town's insurer. We've met with our adjuster. He has seen the building. Also, he has worked with the engineering firm in regards to the conditions of the building and was actually taken through there both with them and with us so that he can do that. And what he's also done is he's developing a 3D model of the building itself, which is actually part of their insurance process to determine if there's any extensive damage beyond just the front facade, but also to maybe the roof, because we suspect that because of the destabilization, there might be issues with the roof as well. So those are the things that could be part of this $200,000. With the main costs that we are looking for at this point are the ability to rent a mobile unit in order to house the Public Works Department. That will be here tomorrow. And then another mobile unit to house their tools and equipment so that staff can safely access those items without having to go in and out of the building. That will help to reduce liability for the town because of the condition of the building. Long-term, CPJ is putting together and is putting together an overview of the condition and restoration of the building, and then they will also work on the permitting process as well with the county. So those are just some items that we would be looking for in regards to this particular item, and I just will be here to answer any other questions you have.
And Councilmember McBride, you had a question?
Ms. Hedgepeth, have the tools already been removed or they have to go back into the building?
They will have to go back into the building to get the tools out. What we've gotten, the engineer has cleared us to go in and out of the building to get items like that, and so that's the reason why we put the supports in, to be able to go in and out of the building to get those tools out. But it's a long-term liability. The agreement with the insurer is that we would want to reduce the number of times that staff has to go in and out of the building because it has been stabilized. We just don't want we don't want to use that as storage and then for something to happen. So that's the reason why we are getting a storage locker, so that we can mitigate the number of times that staff goes in and out of that building. And after they start construction, they will not be able to go into the building. That's what we've been told by CPJ. So once they do start the construction, they have to have everything out of there. So that's why we're moving everything to a storage container.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the council?
Thank you, Mayor James. How long will the report be ready? How long will the report take from CPJ? Did they give you a time frame?
We've been told that we should have an initial report back in the next few weeks. So I'm looking to have a report back, I think, by early August. And once I get that, I will inform the council of that as far as once we have the copy of the report. The reason why the emergency ordinance, we're asking for it now, is so that the council could allow spending during the recess period. So that's really the only reason why. And again, this is the top level amount. It's not for the full amount. And then what we will do is we will bring a detailed report of expenses and reimbursements to the council. Mr. Tonelli is also here, and he's also able to answer some of the questions. But I think one of the questions that you may have is that we do have a $5,000 deductible. We have made some expenditures underneath my authority for some of that in regards to some of the, the mitigation that we've done. So we will have to pay the first $5,000 or show receipts for that so that we can start to get claimed from Legit. But we have spent about $5,000 in repairs so far, or more.
And if I could add, we're doing the budget ordinance mainly because it is an expense going out. I mean, even though it's going to be reimbursed, we can't wash revenues against expenses. I mean, the expense is still going out for repairs, and then on the revenue side, it comes back in under insurance reimbursement.
Yeah, thank you for that. Sorry, Councilmember
Mayor.
Dixon.
But the reimbursement is not guaranteed.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, the 200,000. That's not a
Well,
guarantee.
it's guaranteed for what the engineer's report comes back for, and the adjuster and the engineer agree upon that.
Okay.
So this is a cap for right now. And as Town Administrator Bailey Hutchbeth said, it could be more, but this is, we don't meet in August unless you guys want to come back, we can meet. If we need to say, okay, this is what the cost is, now we need to authorize up to that amount. So I know we get
for
our,
20,000 and 30,000, maybe
Exactly.
5,000. We just kind of like, just try to find a high cap that will get us through until we can come back and meet again in September.
in September, yeah.
And maybe the question
just-
is, what does our insurance cover? Is that what you're trying to ask? What does our insurance cover? What is the limit? The
Or you,
ceiling?
what's the cap?
Yeah.
Yeah, that our
So
insurance will
We
cover.
have we do have replacement costs for this building for some of the structure. So it's not complete replacement cost. There's a scale, so it's not necessarily, because it's construction costs, so it's not like you have we don't have like a $1 million policy. My understanding is that we do have, that it's going to be, that they will actually, there are different levels to this policy. From the standpoint of use is one line item in the policy, which is like the issue of being able to rent the trailers and things like that. The building itself has a cap up to the from the standpoint of the actual replacement cost to rebuild, up to like a 30%. It's like it's graduated, so we can look that up and let you know exactly what those limits are, but they're not set to, I can't tell you it's like 1.5 million, if that makes sense, because we're looking at, they just did a replacement cost study of these buildings this last year as part of our legit review. So we're still looking at what these new numbers are, because I don't think did they give you that yet, Vito? Because they have so as part of our legit renewal, it's kind of interesting, because part of our legit renewal, they mentioned that they did an evaluation of all of our municipal buildings, and they looked at the replacement costs so they could then reevaluate how much these buildings are worth. And I don't think they provided that to us they haven't provided us what the new value on that building is.
No.
And so that's, I'm
And
just
it's
going
going to
looking
be,
back at Vito.
and it will be covered, but on the back end, we are going to have to pay for more in insurance coverage.
Correct.
Because it's not just the town; it's everybody that's in the insurance trust.
So, Chief, so the person responsible, I mean, is there any liability to them, the person who's responsible for this damage?
We are subrogating through, but they're not insured. I guess the chief can answer that question. Sorry, Chief.
So you've answered it. So they are uninsured, unfortunately. So we would have to go during court. Someone would have to go and request restitution.
And just to confirm, the building is condemned, right?
It is currently condemned.
Okay.
Yes, it is currently condemned. And also, I mean, just FYI, we also did turn over the chief's report and the location of that person to legit, so that they do have that information.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for the staff? Okay, so with that, I will, do you want to read it first, or you want me to?
Yeah, I can read it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mayor. I was
All right.
looking for it. I was about to.
All right.
When you were turning, I was like, I was reading it, and hold on one second. Let me read that item into the record. Pardon me. Okay. I just made changes to it from the thing, so let me just make sure I'm opening up the right one. Here we go. Okay, got it. Let me see. Come on, it's popping up. Okay. Oh no, it's not popping up. I just saved it. Thank you. Okay. Ordinance 0/2025 for fiscal year 2025 amendment, and emergency ordinance to amend the operating budget of the town of Bladensburg, Maryland for the fiscal year 2025, July 1st through July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Whereas the town of Bladensburg has made a recommendation to the council of to the mayor and council to amend the FY25 budget to reallocate funds as part of the fiscal year, and whereas the mayor and town council of the town of Bladensburg have determined that it's in its best interest to pass a budget amendment ordinance on this July 15th, 2024, at this town council meeting. Now therefore it being enacted and ordained that the mayor and council of the town of Bladensburg that have the following amendments made to the general operating budget for the fiscal year 2025 for the emergency repairs of the Public Works building due to damage caused by a vehicle strike and impact into the building. 1, increase capital outlay expense for Public Works by $200,000 to repairs damages sustained by the vehicle impact. 2, increase revenue for insurance reimbursement for $200,000 to offset the repairs reimbursed by our insurance carrier. Overall budget impact 0. And therefore be it further enacted and ordained that upon the passage of this ordinance shall be authenticated by the signature of the mayor and town clerk and shall be recorded in a book kept for this purpose. In addition to this ordinance, it will be published in a certified copy at Town Hall for 10 days following the adoption, according an adoption pursuant to Article 2, Section 209 of the Charter of the Town of Bladensburg, Maryland, and that it will be effective this 15th day of July 2024.
Thank you for that. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 01-2025? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. Any comments or questions regarding the ordinance? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The ordinance passes. Thank you all so much, and thank you to the staff for putting that together. Next, we'll move to the second item under financial business, approval of a contract LSWG for the town's audit services for a 3-year term with the options to 2 1-year extensions. Town Administrator?
Hi, Mayor, Council. This is our renewal of our audit. Mr. Tonelli will be able to provide you more details and information on the selection process of the audit firm. Mr. Tonelli?
We sent the proposal out to 6 or 7 prospective firms that were pulled from Maryland Municipal League and also from Maryland Government Finance Officers Association. We got 3 responses, with 1 being a no response. And the 2 responses were between LSWG and Zelenkovsky and Axelrod. And based on the pricing per the bid spec, LSWG, which is also our current auditor, provided the lowest bid over 3 years. Just for their base services, LSWG was around almost half of what Zelenkovsky quoted. And now there was some additional services quoted for a single audit, which is federal funds in excess of $750,000, and also alternative compliance measures for the American Rescue Plan Act funds, and also for following with the state. But factoring all that in, LSWG is what we are recommending as the lowest bidder, and for this 3-year quote with I believe it's got a 1 to 2 year option as well if we wanted.
Thank you for that, Mr. Tonelli. Any questions for the staff before we move to vote on the audit contract? All right.
Yes.
Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Mayor James. Mr. Vito, so to my understanding, per Mayor James, that we are moving into a new contract with LSWG because we don't want to stay bind to one person for too long.
We rebid this after every 3 to 5 years, just to put it back out there again, and also to get possibly a different set of eyes on it. But they all really followed the same auditing standards and book, but it's a competitive bid process, and I said in the work session, we even put this out to our previous auditor, but they already have a full book of engagements right now for the June 30 clients like we are.
Thank you. I actually asked this question so our viewers could understand the reason why we're moving into another contract with another company. Thank you.
Yep.
And just to clarify, though, it is the same current auditor that we have. It's just they had the best and lowest bid, but it did go out to others. Prior to our previous auditor, we had Zelenkovsky and Axelrod going back
Years
maybe
ago. Yeah, I want to say back
7, 8 years ago.
Let me think. What's 2012, 2013? Maybe like 11. Yeah, it's probably 10 and 11 years ago.
Okay, so more than what
That's
I was
close,
thinking,
you know.
but yeah. So
Great memory.
periodically, we do make the adjustment, but I mean, in this case, they had the lowest and best bid for the price, so. With that, sure. With that, is there a motion to authorize staff to proceed with the contract for LSWG for town audit services?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember McBride, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Brown. Any comments or questions from the council? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. And again, thanks to the staff for working through the RFP process. At this time, we'll move into new business. And again, want to thank the fire department leadership for sticking with us. The next item on the agenda under new business is resolution number 01-2025. Town of Bladensburg resolution of support for the Bladensburg Volunteer Fire Department, as well as other fire departments throughout Prince George's County who are going through the challenges that we briefly heard about earlier. We can start with reading the ordinance if that's okay, and then once we get the vote opened up for discussion, if it's all right, Mr. Wells and Mr. Katz, I'll ask you to come up in case you want to share any background information for the public. So, Town Administrator, we'll turn it over to you.
No problem. Resolution 01-2025, the Town of Bladensburg Resolution of Support for the Fire Department and the other volunteer fire departments throughout Prince George's County. Whereas the port towns represented by their respective councils and commissions acknowledge and support the concerns raised by Chief Dave Sumner and the volunteer fire departments in our area regarding the critical shortage of career staffing in our local firehouses. And whereas the current staffing crisis severely impacts the ability of fire departments in Bladensburg, Cottage City, and other volunteer departments to deliver essential emergency services communities. And whereas the shortage of career personnel places a significant strain on our volunteer firefighters and compromise. Mayor, so this is the lot that's right in front of the police annex. And we are going to do a milling and paving of this area, which will mean that they will take off the top thing and then they will repave with asphalt. This is a little bit more complex than some of the other jobs. We got 2 quotes. We put out an RFP officially, and we've received 2 bids. One was for $13,730, and the second was for $12,800, and that's from Pronto Paving, and they were the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. And Mr. Hall was here to answer questions, but he's not feeling well today, so I do apologize. But he did do this, and I want to give him credit for his help with getting these bids.
Yeah, thank you, and definitely want to thank Mr. Hall and wish him a quick recovery. I know he is very familiar working with Pronto on some other projects in the town, so I'm sure if he recommended this, that they're the best contractor for this job. With that, is there a motion to approve the contract with Pronto Paving for the parking lot asphalt replacement at 4217 Edmonston Road in an amount not to exceed $12,800?
Also moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Brown. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The contract is approved. Next, the approval and award of the community grants for FY 2024. Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth, I know we had to kind of table this or abbreviate it in the last meeting, so we'll turn it over to you.
Mayor, the only one that there's the red light camera is next.
Going too fast. Sorry.
I don't want to steal this.
Chief is about to jump over the table. Somebody's whispering like, we got to speed up. Come on. No more questions. We're speeding up. All right. Chief, item E, over to you, sir. Sorry.
All right. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, community, colleagues. So we've been working with we did an RFP for rear light cameras, and we settled with Red Speed. We've had several meetings with the vendor. The contract has gone back and forth with legal counsel, myself, Town Administrator Belly Hedgepath, and Mr. Tonelli work obviously with the numbers. So going back and forth, we finally reached an agreement on both sides to make this project successful for the town. Our goal is always to make this town a pedestrian safety community. This red light cameras will reduce right-hand turns, collisions, pedestrians getting struck in intersections. We've had a few fatalities. So tonight we're asking for the council to approve the red light camera with Red Speed so that we can advance this project and get this program hopefully up and running before the end of the year.
Thank you for that overview, Chief. Any comments or questions from the council? Councilmember Brown?
Chief, real quick, what's the cost?
So the cost is, well, it's unlike the speed cameras. So the speed cameras, each unit is
Right.
34 something.
Right, so whatever, right.
per-
each unit.
So Red Speed doesn't charge that way. Red Speed charges for the service, the lookup fees, the processing fees, the collection fees. So in a nutshell, what the conversation would come down to, we worked out, and we had them at the table, and it is more advantageous for the town that we settled that Red Speed will be compensated 33 and a quarter and 33 and a third. So that is of the revenues that come in. So that is how that would work. And again, we don't charge per citation. Their services really for the lookup fees and processing fees and all of that.
What are they doing for the other municipalities? Because I know they do
So
service, I remember, they
so
do
theirs
service.
is high, theirs is higher than us. We were successful in negotiating a 33 and a third.
That was actually Sue Ellen. So because Sue Ellen actually held us to 33 and a third, she didn't. But we were at, most of the others 35, and then there's an additional fee, and we've kind of worked through that fee issue on that too.
Actually, you guys did so good, it's actually 33, so you saved us
33.
another percent.
Yeah.
On page 27,
Yeah.
where it talks about the compensation.
Yeah.
So you even got us out of the 33 and a third, we're just
yeah.
at 33.
33.
And then, Chief, with the flag release fee, could you just explain what the flag release fee is? It says $299 per flag release. Is that with MVA?
So we kind of went back and forth with that because we wanted to maintain control of that because we don't necessarily need Red Speed to do a release. We can take care of the release in-house. So they wanted to get it both ways. Even if we do the release, they wanted to get paid, and we said no, we can handle that on our own with our own staff, because normally when they go to NBA, they can't renew their tags until they come back here and pay those fees. So we didn't need Red Speed to handle that portion of the service, so we took care of that.
That makes sense. Thank you, Chief. Any other questions regarding Red Speed red light camera program? I know for the residents, again, if you want to take a look at the work session where we talked about it a little bit more, to hear more information, please feel free to play that back on YouTube or on Facebook. So at this time, I'll call for a motion for approval of a contract with Red Speed for a red light camera program for the town of Bladensburg. Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Brown. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you. Congratulations. I know it's taken a while, but I appreciate you guys working together. The smile on the chief's face right now is we're just spinning. All right, so now we jump back over to the community grants for FY 2024. Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth, over to you.
Thank you again, Mayor, Council. I promise this is my last one of the day, I think. I'm sorry. It's been a long council meeting. So this is our, this is the community grant process that the town has put together in regards to, we have a total of $12,000 of possible grants. We have received 3 applications for $2,000 apiece. Number 1 was We Lead by Example. It's a mentoring and self-defense class, and a self-defense group that that staff is recommending. They provided all of the information in their packet, and I believe that many of you might be familiar with their programming. The second is Eco Farms, which is a community farming group that is located right here in the town and does services directly in the town, and we're also recommending them. The last one is Eye to the Sky Royalty Institute. It's a mentoring group. We actually sought some additional information from them so that we could get some information more on the number of students they're currently helping in Bladensburg. We did not make a recommendation because we were waiting on that information. But we've attached all of the information for your review, and basically we're just staff, as the policy set forth, staff was to come together, look at them, provide you with all the information, make a recommendation, but the final decision is for the council. So that's our report.
Thank you, and we appreciate you including that information in the packet. Councilmember Blunt?
How many, is there a cap on how many times an organization can receive this community grant?
The information that went out did not have a limitation on the number of times a organization. It basically just said it never had that in the before. If that's something the council would like to implement for the next set of grants, we can do that. But we didn't specifically say if you'd been awarded before. Any information was not included in the application process.
So was it more than the 3 that it was more people that applied for the grant?
Just these 3. Just these 3 applied. We did not receive any more grants than the 3.
And then I was curious, council members, the third one I've never heard of, and I'm a bit concerned because if we haven't seen this program in the community, I'm hesitant to give town funds to them, at least with the other ones. We've seen the program, so we know they're operational. So I was just curious if anyone had heard of them or seen it in action.
As a matter of fact, Royalty Institute, they run their program. It's a program that helps young African American Black males, and they run the program out of the town of Bladensburg Community Center. So they're bringing the program back. August, September of this year. Yes. Okay. But they bring it. But they run this fall program there at the Bladensburg Community Center, and they've been doing so for like the past 3 years or so. So I am familiar with them.
Can we meet with them? Sorry, Councilmember, the audience can't hear. Councilmember Dixon, you had a question?
Yeah, I was saying to Councilmember Brown, I've never heard of them, and they're actually reinstating in August, right? Going to be actually.
They're bringing the program back. So they do the summer program in another municipality, and they're coming back to Bladensburg August, September to do the fall program in Bladensburg. But they run their program out of Bladensburg at the Bladensburg Community Center, and we can get more details.
Yeah. Oh, so Michelle, can we meet with them? I would like to meet with them to get to know them more. Yeah, familiar.
We sent an email to actually get some more information because
yeah.
In their application they put that they plan to serve 50 students. That's exactly what their proposal was, is to serve 50 students. We just asked them, I'm sorry, let me repeat that again. As part of their proposal, they mentioned that they were going to serve 50 students out of the Bladensburg Community Center. We asked some information about that so that we could get better information on it. I also understand that they do have a social media presence. Mr. Jeffries did mention that. So just letting you know. So we did send out some information. We can bring that back to you, but we did ask for some, but the process was a little tight between the council date and getting everything in. So they did submit on the deadline, but there wasn't a lot of time to do interviews with them before. So we can bring that back to the council.
So would the council want to hold that until we get the additional information? And then their contact info is on the grant application form. So if anyone wants to reach out and just have the opportunity to meet them, understand more about the program, that could be helpful in the meantime. And then maybe in September, are we okay to do that? Because this is FY 2024.
Can you hold it?
July is the 13th month.
I mean,
Or do we?
I could post it as a payable,
Right.
and we can determine after that if, you know, so.
Okay. Yes, Councilmember
Okay,
Blunt?
in the near future, can we just talk about how many times we will allow our organization to receive this funds, allowing other people to be able to get a grant? Because I know some organizations don't allow a person every year for the last 6 years to get that money because it would show some type of favoritism opposed to someone else. So just something to think about.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think it would be better for us if we had 30 or 20, even 10 people applying. But as long as we've been on the council, I think we barely get 3. And that's the challenge. Do you withhold and say just because you got it 3 times before? No, but we have no one else in the community who followed the process and applied for it. So I think I see your point. You don't want to show favoritism, but I wish we had a scenario where there were 20 organizations applying. Then it's more competitive.
And that's just looking into your community.
Yeah,
to
and
find
you're a
out how many
nonprofit now.
nonprofit-
Yes.
To find out how many nonprofits. I know we are, but I would
Yeah.
never go after because we're finding
Right.
money.
Right.
But my thing is, I know there's plenty of nonprofits inside of Bladensburg who just don't want to be bothered. But if they can see, I mean, it's up to them.
Yeah.
But my thing is reaching out to a lot of the ones who's not really, we haven't touched.
And it's perfect timing that you bring that up, because now that we're in FY '24, now we have the fresh amount of money in the budget. So any that that you see they didn't apply for the last year, this is the time to let them know. We have $6,000 reserved in the budget for our community organizations, and hopefully this time around, to your point, is more competitive. And then it opens it up for other people, so it doesn't seem like, oh, this organization gets it every single year. I think that's just our challenge, it's the law of numbers.
I had one of the ones who reached back, because I did tell her about it, and she said, I guess maybe it was closed or something. or
Okay.
someone told her she couldn't get it again, and I just
Missed
never
the
heard of
deadline.
that. So I don't
It
know.
could, there was a deadline.
So maybe that's what they,
Yeah.
and that's what she understood would be, okay.
I think it was
So that's
July
what it is.
3rd.
July 3rd.
Yeah.
So that's probably what she was speaking of. I was like, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, not a.
That would be the only reason why
Okay.
they couldn't get it in, is if it's closed and now the
Okay.
staff has to pull everything so we can review it. But other than that, they would not be turned away.
And then Mayor, but what is the time frame that you normally get?
So this one was done very quick. This was done at the last council meeting, because I had never heard of this until we got to that last council meeting. So we put together the similar process. The one thing I've learned from this process, and I'll say to as an improvement, is that we're going to work on a different application so that they can submit it a little bit easier, and some of these attachments will be more, and then also I think that when I'm looking at it, a lot of the information, I use the process that we used before. Some of the information is duplicative, so I want to kind of reduce that. So it's like a lower barrier for people to apply, because I also realize that all the information we're asking for is a lot for a small organization. So if we can do just half of some of these things, that would make sure that they have their nonprofit and stay, or if they have a fiscal sponsor letter or things like that. I think there's some things that we can make a little bit more user friendly. So I learned something from this, and so once the new town clerk actually starts, we will improve upon this for the new fiscal year. So we will give more time. So it won't be just 30 days. It'll be a little bit longer. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Mayor, can I just real quick?
Yes,
Yeah.
Councilmember
Just
Brown.
Just really quick, because, and in light of time as well, and the town has been doing this for many years. And I will say, if an organization, if they come year after year and all of their paperwork is in order and they've paid their tax and they've done their due diligence and the 990 and all that stuff, I mean, you know, I don't, say that again.
It's favoritism. When you're dealing with money, I mean, I know we might be different than most governments.
But we're not
maybe.
showing favoritism because we don't.
I'm not saying that you did, but I'm saying it would look and appear to that you would if the process, like you said, is only 3 people. Of course, you go ahead and
That's
do
what
it.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If we have only 3 people
Well, that's what she
applying,
just said, yeah.
then it's not showing favoritism.
That's
and,
what she just
and,
said. I know.
Yeah.
That's what she just said.
Okay. I heard. Thank you. That's okay, dear. Yeah. I'm just So but yeah. So and then if people and they have their paperwork and they're doing their proper reporting, you know. So.
I just have one last. Go ahead, Mayor.
Councilmember Dixon.
I just have one question for Michelle. In regards to this grant, when we're sending out, I know it's online. Ray do a good job. Do we send it out in the newsletter too, in the Chronicles, for our residents to see it?
it did not go on this one, I think, because of the timing issue, but maybe it did. Did it go on time? Did it make it?
Put it in there
At the very-
for one of the weeklies in June.
It was in the weekly
And
newsletter.
then some of us shared
And the
it
fourth.
on Facebook, on social media as well, because
But I
Ray
didn't
also
think it
posted
made
it
it
there.
printed.
But the difference is, because like you said, you figured it out later in the fiscal year, we didn't have months of publicizing. And that's why I said I appreciate Councilmember Blunt bringing it up, because now we're in the new fiscal year and we've got all this time to push and promote it. And and make it more so that to the point where we have a more competitive process. So again, thank you everyone for the comments.
Thank you.
So with that, is there a motion to approve the community grants for We Lead by Example and Eco City Farms in the amount of $2,000 each?
So, I thought you was going.
I'm sorry, did everyone want to do, was it all three? I thought someone was saying table the other one because it said sought additional information. But I mean,
I think we can approve the two first ones,
Yeah.
because we're already familiar with those ones.
It's just that third one. We
Yeah.
questioned.
just give them the opportunity
just
to get
with
the
Lead by
information in. So
Example
it's
on
not a no,
Saturday.
we're just giving them time.
I was just there.
To get their information.
Of course.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. So again, is there a motion to approve the community grants for We Lead by Example and Eco City Farms in the amount of $2,000?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Blunt. I think we talked about it previously, but is there any other comments or questions that need to be made into the record? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. I know we received the legislative report in the work session. Is there a need to go back through that for this meeting, given the lateness of the hour? Okay, it is contained in the council packet for the residents, but during the work session, we did have a brief presentation from LA Perez Consulting regarding the 2024 legislative session. So with that, that concludes new business, and we're now into staff reports, beginning with our town treasurer. Mr. Tonelli?
Well, I didn't include. I didn't include a financial report this month because it's the last month of the fiscal year, and I tried to do an early closeout, but the problem is we have to keep the books open for the next 45 to 60 days because we still have revenues coming in for speed cameras, especially because those fines generated through June sometimes do not get paid until, most times it don't get paid until July and August. And also our income tax revenues for the last filing, for the 2024 filing, are still coming in all the way through August. And also, we haven't received the final amounts from the highway user revenues. And we're going to have to see how much we have to transfer from the fund balance over, because we had a lot of one-time expenditures this year. One of the reasons why we have a fund balance, I always say, is because we're deferring expenses until a future period. And this year, we did do a lot of building maintenance, and we did a lot of security measures around town, and we had a lot of repairs. Majority of that was paid through speed camera funds, but it's still an expense, so it's, but I'm still waiting for all the dust to settle. It'll be probably at the September council meeting where I'll have a pretty good idea where this fiscal year ended, which coincides with when our audit period will start. Outside of financials, this month I attended the Maryland Municipal League convention from Sunday through Wednesday. And as soon as that was over, the Maryland Government Finance Officers Association had their conference from Wednesday through Friday. Not as engaging as MML. It focused a lot on accounting trends, and a big part of it was AI and business intelligence tools, threats, opportunities, all that good stuff. And of course, it said, they talk about some of the AI experts say, the world's going to end in 3 years, so it was kind of like, you hear from all sides. There were a lot of good seminars at MML as well, and just through July and August, we're closing down the fiscal year and starting the new fiscal year, so it's no downtime at all. If anything, this is the busiest times of the year right now, but that's about it.
Thank you, Mr. Tonelli. Any questions? I mean, that was spot on the timing. Finished with, you have 1 second.
Rehearse.
I see.
Just kidding.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chief Collington and Code Enforcement Officer Reinhardt. I'll turn it over to you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, community, and colleagues. This month, I submitted a very comprehensive comp stat report. So it's online for the community to view. So I want to pivot this month away from the community outreach stuff and get into some of the crime stat data. So from January 1st to June 14th, our officers handled 4,759 calls for service. And, that's to be commendable for the service that they've done. I'm going to go down here real quick. This is a comparison from January 1st, 2023 to June 11, 2023. We had 72 arrests. Patrol made from January 1st to 2024 to June 11th, we had 192 arrests, which is a 62.5% increase. So when you break down the arrests by patrol, criminal citations in 2023, they had this same time frame. There was 8 criminal citations issued, 34 on-view arrests, 22 warrant services, and 6 DUI. The same time frame this year, we had 42 criminal citations issued, 72 on-view arrests, 50 warrant services, and 25 DUI arrests. So we had, in criminal citations, that was a 425% increase. On-view arrests, 112% increase. Warrant service, 127. DUI arrests, we had 316% increase. So we come down and start talking about our Special Operations Division, criminal investigations. In 2023, they had 50 cases assigned. In 2024, they had 30% reduction in cases, meaning that the crime was lower between the years. When you talk about the breakdown in cases that they handled, shootings, aggravated assault, carjackings, citizen robbery, commercial robberies, burglaries, the same time frame. Again, shootings, they handled 8 in 2023, aggravated assaults 2, carjackings in 2023 6, citizen robberies 8, commercial robberies we had 0 in 2023, burglaries 4. Same time frame, we had 5 shootings, 37.5% decrease. Aggravated assaults, we had 3. And that's my time. So my point,
Chief, keep going. I don't want you to arrest the clock. So I don't want you to put the clock on arrest.
So do you want me to keep going?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. So
I'll
aggravated.
defer my 1 second to you.
Vito gave me his 1 second.
Okay.
Aggravated assaults, we had 3, which was a 33% increase, 1 more than we had last year, is what it came down to. Carjackings, we had a 66.67% decrease in carjackings. Citizen robbery, we had a 12.5 decrease. We had unfortunately 5 commercial robberies in 2024, and all 5 of the commercial robberies have been closed by arrest. So we have a 100% closure rate in our commercial robberies. And I want to give a shout out to our CID people for putting in the work there, as well as our patrol and SAT team. Burglaries, we had a 25% decrease. So we talked about creating SAT team, the special assignment team. Since its inception, they had 50 arrests. They had 10 arrests. Of the 10 arrests, 4 for felonies, 6 for misdemeanors. So I will leave it there because I want to give some others some time. But I just wanted to do a breakdown in crime stats to show the community and the council that our men and women are out there working day in and day out. They're working hard to keep this community safe.
Chief, thank you for that. And maybe at the September meeting, if the council's okay with it, it'd be nice if you could do a presentation for us and then take us through the end of the summer, walking us through the crime stats. So that would include all the way through the end of August, early September. Would that work?
I would love it.
All right.
So if I can indulge,
Yes, sir.
if the council can indulge me 1 last 2 seconds. I want to give a shout out to Sean Roger Reinhardt for his 20 years of faithful, dedicated service. So we wanted to recognize him at our awards banquet in May, but he was on vacation. So we had an all hands on deck meeting in July, and he had all his peers and colleagues there. So we presented him with an award there. But thank you. It's been a pleasure working with Sean.
Excellent. Thank you for 20 wonderful years of service. And with that, over to code enforcement.
Thank you. I love to say I put another 20 years in Bladensburg in the future. I can't guarantee it, but it was a pleasure. It's been a pleasure these past 20 years. I'm going to keep my code report very brief because the chief's stuff was very much more important than what I got to say. I just want to put out, this month has been very busy for code enforcement. We've been redoing our business license renewals. So we've been issuing every apartment complex and businesses in town their renewals. So far, we're probably have, I'd say about 85 to 95%, 85 to 90 of them returned now. Another big highlight, I was also had the privilege to attend the MML conference with the mayor and council and other staff. There's quite a bit of education gained there. Great classes that were given. And one of the last things I want to say is, especially with the heat that's happened in the last few weeks and stuff like that, please check on your neighbors, especially your elderly neighbors. Some of them don't have air conditioning. Just make sure you check on them, make sure they're okay. And anything that, the town can do to kind of help out, we'll try to help out also. But that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Code Enforcement Officer Reinhardt. Next, we'll proceed with, let's see, the TA report. Just going down the list.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much time on my report, but I wanted to make sure I highlighted the public works report really quickly with Mr. Sorry. Okay, sorry. All right. Sorry, the public works report, since since Purnell's not here, I wanted to note that the sign at the 4100 of Kenilworth Avenue was added, which is the new town sign, which I wanted to say that was really, I mean, I know that, thank you. I know that's something that everybody would like to note. That Public Works also assisted with Sergeant McKee in transporting and unloading items for the Salvation Army this last month. That they also, Mr. Fuentes, Ivan, and Mr. Portillo, who is Solomon, our new employee, they were at the Sip and Unity, the Paint and Unity, not Sip and Unity, Paint and Unity celebration in Juneteenth. And then the Public Works helped to cut out the sidewalk and limbs near the 4200 block of 57th Avenue. And then they also installed some new trash cans throughout the town, which I think there's some photos which you guys can see, which are these new blue ones. And then they also installed a new LED crossing at the 5200 block of Newton this month. And then they also went out and with Maryland Department of the Environment and did their quarterly inspection of the Public Works facility before the hit. The measures in tons, they did 100 and they had 136 metric tons of brush, 2.54 of building materials, and they did 5.29 tons of condominium pickups. So I just wanted to kind of say that because he doesn't read them out a lot, and I thought that was really important. The Public Works team works really hard, and they probably don't get the level of appreciation they need to. So that's my report because they are one of the people that I really wanted to make sure we highlighted. Mine is submitted as written, and I'm giving you back 55 seconds.
Thank you for highlighting Public Works. I couldn't agree. We need to acknowledge their hard work. In this heat, they have to be out there. I know they adjust hours as needed, but they're still getting the work done, mowing the grass and doing all the other things that need to be done. And a special thank you for those beautiful Town of Bladensburg welcome signs. They look amazing. And that curb appeal that Councilmember Brown was talking about a few months ago is great. It's actually great to see it in action. So thank you for that. We'll now jump to Mayor and Council reports, beginning with Councilmember Brown.
Okay, as we go out, Mayor, I'm going to go first again, but September, I'm not going first. No, but I'm going to make mine really, really quick. I've attended a host of events. We did the Edmonston Day Parade, Juneteenth, MML, food giveaway, and Newton Green Port Towns meeting. But I do want to say that starting in September, we're going to come back with the community meeting. And so the community meeting will be inclusive of public safety as well. So instead of calling it the public safety meeting, because we want the community to know that, hey, come out and talk about whatever issues or concerns that you may have. So it's going to be the community meeting in September. And also, I just want the residents to know and understand that that's what this forum is here as well. Is every month we are here for you all to come and to meet with us and to talk with us. So I just want to say stay hydrated and you all have a safe summer. And we'll see you back in September. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll give back 142.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Brown. Sticking with Ward 1, we'll go to Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Mayor James. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, residents. I want to say congratulations to you, Sean, for your service of 20 years. Just know I appreciate you. I do have a couple of events myself. I'm going to keep it really short. Mayor James and myself, we had a meeting in regarding our Boys and Girls Club that we're trying to develop for the town of Bladensburg. attended the Port Town sector plan meeting, American Bloom at Boswick House. Mayor James and myself attended the Prince George's County Fire Department meeting just to gain more insight of what was actually going on over there. I attended the MML conference, which was very insightful. The classes were amazing. I attended the District 47 third annual health fair. I actually had a brief conversation or brief meeting with board member Shayla Adams Stratford in regards to the Bladensburg Elementary School. I will have more details on that once I hear back from them. Had a meeting, Mayor James and myself, meeting with our resident Marlon Cruz, who would like to spread the Latino, he's trying to spread a Latino awareness or a Latino political empowerment, actually, to empower the Latina communities, because basically he thinks that, or he feels as if the Latino are not included in a lot of stuff, local politics stuff. I attended the Juneteenth in the Park, Port Town quarterly meeting, and apartment manager roundtable. And I had a meeting with Michelle. I had a meeting with Michelle and Ray in regards to our event that's coming up in October, actually. October is the month of domestic awareness, and we will be having, the town of Bladensburg will be having a event. And as always, community check-in with my resident. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dixon, for your report. Next, we'll go to Councilmember McBride.
I too would like to say thank you, Sean, for all of your service. It has truly been a great help to me. So for my report, I attended a COG online meeting where Mayor James was our speaker. And also we had Ms. Morgan Hubbard, who gave a very detailed report about the Echo City Farms and the starting and the various things that go on. It was very beneficial to the COG committee. Also, I volunteered for a volunteer appreciation. Well, I sponsored a volunteer appreciation event at Parkview for the residents, which I had, I promised them it was before I got sick. And so I had to keep my promise. And the mayor attended. I attended the Bladensburg fireworks. I attended Juneteenth. Let's see. And I attended the another Green Team meeting, and I also attended a prayer breakfast at given at Parkview that was held by Elder Rouse for the seniors. Very nice event, and they enjoyed it. And I'm going to stop right there.
Is the health and safety of our residents, whereas the firefighters have faithfully served our communities for over a century, with the last 20 years being 100% volunteer. Yet, increasing demands and new training requirements have become unmanageable without adequate support, and resulting in delayed response times, increased EMS call volumes, and reduced effectiveness in the emergency service delivery. And the Port Towns have consistently supported our fire organizations, recognizing the invaluable contributions they make to Prince George's County through their volunteer work. And whereas the county's fire department has made some changes and is willing to meet with mayors and staff over the next few weeks to discuss these urgent matters, signaling a shared commitment to finding valuable solutions. And whereas the immediate action by the council is urgently needed to address the current staffing shortfall, ensuring that our firehouses are adequately staffed with career personnel to maintain the high standard of public safety expected and deserved by our residents. And whereas our communities rely heavily on the dedicated service of both the career and volunteer firefighters, and without sufficient career staffing, there's a burden on our volunteer fire departments to become unsustainable, leading to fatigue, health issues, diminished morale, and ultimately jeopardizing the safety of our residents. Whereas the town of Bladensburg is in solidarity with Chief Dave Sumner and the volunteer fire departments and call upon Prince George's to take immediate action and decisive action to address the stifling crisis of our fire departments. And whereas the town of Bladensburg urges the county to prioritize and implement measures to ensure that the fire departments can operate safely, safeguarding our communities and providing essential services. And whereas the town of Bladensburg stands united with Chief Sumner and our volunteer firefighters and our plea to the county to commit sustainable solutions to uphold the public safety standards across Prince George's County, be it resolved, a copy of this resolution should be transmitted to the Prince George's County Executive, the County Council, and relevant county officials to convey the urgent need for action and solidarity in support of our fire departments. Be it further resolved, this resolution will be hereby adopted this 15th day of July, 2024, and shall take effect immediately upon adoption.
Thank you. I know that was a mouthful. Thank you for reading through that. Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth, is there a motion to approve resolution number 01-2025? Moved by Councilmember Dixon. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Mr. Wells or Mr. Katz, would you like to come up and give us some additional information?
The only thing I'll say about it is just from Bladensburg itself, our call volume has gone up tremendously over the last 14, 15 days. And it is taking effect on the volunteers that are there day in and day out who don't get the rest that they need. It has been putting us out of service or down to one crew going out the door, whether it be an engine or an ambulance or a truck. There's also training standards that were, the proper way to say it is it wasn't given enough time to allow the members to get the classes that they were being required to have. A couple years ago, they implemented 2 12-hour classes and gave us 3 years to get it. Now they're making us take 60, 70, and 80-hour classes, and just to ride the front seat of the fire truck, you need to take 4 classes. And the young guys who don't have that yet were only given 6 months to do it. Some of the classes didn't fill up because there wasn't enough people to take the classes. So it put the ones that were trying to get the classes into cancellation instead of being able to get pushed forward, which then just pushed it back. The fire chief has taken that into consideration on a couple of the classes and have made exemptions, especially for Bladensburg, especially after the fire chief, the mayor, and a couple other people sent letters and emails. We actually got our last exemption at 10 o'clock the night of the company meeting. We were about to close, and we had to redo a bunch of stuff just because of that. So we are actively working to get that done from our side. We're doing what we can to get our pieces out the door. But if it does mean that it takes longer for you all to get another EMS or a fire truck coming into Bladensburg, it could just be because we're already out somewhere in another town or another half of the county. Then it's just going to be longer to get the services to us or to the area. The future.
I know First Vice President has a lot to say here.
Oh, he does.
Councilmember Dixon and I did go to the meeting last month with the volunteers in Greenbelt, so that was really helpful. Thank you guys for that invitation.
Yes, and we greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate the mayors and the town councils that have stood up and backed us on this. Like the chief said, some of the things that we argued at the council about the training standards when it went into effect. And back then, the chief's council for all the chiefs in the county said, you're trying to push this through too fast, too soon. We don't have the classes. They were not set up. They were not set up through MIFRE. And we told her this. The chiefs told her this. The administration, and they're like, did not listen. Like he said, they've issued exemptions now on a case-by-case basis because they had volunteers going, we're not getting out the door. We don't have a qualified person to put in the front seat, even though the guy's been riding there for 3 years. He's not qualified by your standards at this point. because you got to have a class. Little things like that. And she's not really communicating with some of the stations. She's meeting with mayors, she's meeting with councils, and she's not involving the townspeople, the fire departments of those same. Where we're hearing of meetings that are happening where she's not told the County Rescue Association, which we represent. Like I said, right now I will go in September as the president for the Volunteer Rescue Association. And we're not being told of said meetings. We're like, we can help out. Let us try to find a resolution and try to get this moving forward, to get a firm grip on it, to provide for the citizens, because right now we don't have it. We learned about the 35 issue the night that she issued the letter. Actually, the past president got, or the president now got the phone call at 11 o'clock the night before that letter dropped. That's how soon we knew about it. But at the same time that they knew about it, saying, hey, you got 10 days and we're pulling your people. That's what they learned. There was no, hey, how can we get this? How can we come to a resolution? How can we try to work this out? Like Chief said, right now we're going to be running all the way up to the bottom half of Beltsville in some cases. As he said, we ran 29 from the station the other day, and I went, we're going where? Why? And what the fire chiefs have said to the mayors is we run off AVL. They're right. They do run off AVL. Like he said, there's a potential you could leave a station at 6 o'clock in the morning and not get back till 9 at night because you're closest to Laurel, so they're going to put you on that car on Laurel, which is going to leave us further out. Hopefully we'll get back soon, but there's no guarantee that we're going to be here to guard Bladensburg. So hopefully somebody else is coming from the backside. We just kind of, from the association standpoint, we wish she would communicate a little bit better with us to try to help to find the resolve. Because like I said, the classes, there was one or two firefighter 1 classes that got canceled because there wasn't enough people signed up for it. Officer 2. There wasn't enough people signed up for it. They got canceled. So those people got pushed back in the training standards. And we told, and like I said, Dave is on the Chiefs Council, and he argued with them, it's too soon. You give us another 6 months so we can get MIF-free, Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute in College Park, or some of them are even looking at outside. To be honest with you, I know we've even looked at Bucks County to try to get our guys to go to Bucks County or go online through Bucks County and get some of these classes to get them under. But it's $1,200 a class that the county's not paying. They're willing to pay for the Pro Board certification. I think it's like 10 or 20 bucks. But if I send them to Bucks County, that's $12 to the department because the volunteers can't afford to pay that. And like I said, we got people over there working like Gary. We both got full-time jobs. I know he works 50 plus hours at work and comes down here 3 nights a week. I'm all over the place. And I work 60 hours at work because I'm only pulling like 3 or 4 hours overtime a day because I'm the only person at my job. But that's my personal life. That's, my own thing. But then I'm at meetings at night. So we're all getting to that point where we're like, dude, you want more, but we can't give it.
And honestly, the problem being solved for the career staff is being created for the volunteers.
Correct.
So,
and I think there's a lot of things that can be could be helped worked out if we could get
to the table.
Everybody at the table, because
so I will
I'll give you an example real quick. Prime example for you was years ago, they did away with what they called the M scale, which was your EMS only personnel in the county. A lot of your EMS only personnel in the county were like, I'm not going into a burning building, I retire. Now you have to be, and Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, fire EMS coming in the door. You don't have an option. Not everybody wants to go into a burning building. Not everybody wants that, but they'll do the fire side. But I know one of the things they're putting on the table now is doing like DC and getting like a private ambulance company to come in and sublet out in that regard. But they did away with the M scale, which you would have more EMS only personnel, which is 80% of the call volume, to do EMS skills. And that would alleviate your firefighters having to do double duty on an ambulance. But they don't have that anymore. I'm like, bring back that scale. That would help with your EMS crisis at this point. But I don't even think they're looking at it.
Yeah, that is helpful. Again, thank you. We'll continue doing what we can, and hopefully this resolution and the letter of support that the Port Towns Commission and Council has approved along with this will help make a difference. And the meetings, reaching out for those will continue. Chief Green scheduled something, I think, for tomorrow invited me to that, and there's a couple other mayors that she invited. But to your point, and the point that I want to make is this is not the meeting I requested. What I asked for was a conversation with our chief and our council and staff, because we need to solve for here. And it's very deliberate, it seems, having these conversations with electeds, but you don't want to have everyone else at the table. We're just talking. We're not getting to solutions, and that's frustrating, particularly when we have daytime jobs that we're trying to juggle along with town responsibility. So I'll report out on that meeting tomorrow, but for the sake of time, we'll go ahead and move into the vote. The motion was made by Councilmember Dixon and seconded by Councilmember McBride. And so I'll now call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. And please convey our gratitude to the volunteers who are continuing to keep us operational to the extent possible in these difficult times. The next item, oh, sorry, Councilmember, did you have Yeah. And next we'll go on to 9B, the Memorandum of Understanding for Amen Trust as discussed in the work session. TA Bailey Hedgepeth, did you want to do a brief recap of that?
Yeah, I will try to keep it to less than a minute. So Mayor, Council, this is an MOU between the town and Amen Trust in regards to an architectural and engineering study with Encore Sustainable Architects. And we're asking that we enter in this MOU with Amen Trust for project management assistance and also in regards to helping us to contract with Encore for services. Encore, the difference regarding this one is this is an architectural and engineering services. I know that we've done several different plans on the Bostwick House, but this one is in regards to making as future uses for events center and for other things beyond what it's kind of being used now. So that's why it's a little bit different, and it will look at issues as far as engineering and systems that are within the building, which have not been done for a long time. This is only less than half of the bond bill items, and there will be a separate item in regards to stabilization projects, which will come as a different item in the next one. So.
Thank you for that brief recap. With that, is there a motion for the approval of the Memorandum of Understanding between Amen Trust and the Town of Bladensburg regarding the Bostwick House request for proposals for architectural and engineering services?
Also moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any further comments or questions regarding the MOU? Again, for residents, if you missed the discussion, please take a look at tonight's work session where we did have additional information offered up. With that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. The next item we have is the approval of a contract with WMG Restoration. I'm hungry, so I'm thinking of dinner reservations. Sorry. WMG Historic Restoration LLC, again for Bostwick House window restoration in the amount not to exceed $82,913. Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This is an approval of a contract again with WMG, which is a historic preservation company that will work specifically on the windows at Bostwick House. I can show a picture if you would like of the windows, if that would be helpful for the record. Let me go let that open. Sorry, 1 second. Now I said I can do it, and then and then I'm fumbling with my computer. So 2 seconds. Pictures, windows, Bostwick. Okay. All right, I'm sharing right now, Rick. 1 second. Zoom. Share.
And while you're bringing it up, this particular project is to help with the stabilization for Bostwick House.
Correct, Mayor.
There we go.
So this has to do with the stabilization of Bostwick House. We actually had a series of break-ins in the last couple months where people have broken out those windows, and as a long-term issue, Actually, our consultant that we're working with, Joey Lample, I think who you've met before in other previous things, is going to look at so that Maryland Historic Trust will approve a way that we can cover the windows in a way that'll be artistic, so that we don't have to continue to pay for restorations. But these windows were not done in the most recent restorations that were done several years ago by Miss McCauley when she did a lot of the restorations on the second floor. And so as part of what we will do as an overview for the council is provide, what windows have been replaced, which ones haven't. These were the next set of windows which are on the front, which is part of the stabilization project that we've been looking at. We have a total of $300,000 set aside for stabilization projects out of the bond bill money. And both these two windows, and there's a front door, some window panes that will be replaced in this immediate scope. We, when I was looking at these repairs, we have two bids that went out. One had a lot more, but we had to make sure that we were in compliance with some of the federal requirements regarding the Davis-Bacon wage scale, and we didn't have the information for the Davis-Bacon wage scale to bring to you at this meeting. But our hope is to bring that to you in September so that you can get so that we can complete spending out this money. So these included the Bacon-Davis wage, and we thought that we could get these done very quickly. So you'll have more coming back to you in September.
Great, thank you for that. Councilmember McBride has a question.
Okay. What measures have been taken to ensure that if you replace these windows, what happens so somebody doesn't destroy them again?
That's a great question. So, Councilwoman, that's actually what I'm meeting with Joey regarding tomorrow, is so that when we put these up, that we can get MHT to actually give us an opportunity so that we can preserve them with a cover. So that will be brought to you as part of the scope. It'll take a couple months because this has to be done on-site, off-site, and on-site. So we'll have some time between now and the next meeting, but the work that they can get done on this repairs we want to be able to start that and get them started on the glass replacement. But what we want to do is preserve our windows and try to cover something for the house. So we will bring that to you.
Great question. Thank you for that explanation. So with that, is there a motion to approve the contract with WMG Historic Restoration LLC for Bostwick House Historic Window Restoration in an amount not to exceed $82,913?
So move.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions for staff?
Mayor, just real quick, I just want to say for those who are tuning in, is that we will receive a itemization of what's been done to the Bostwick House up to date from our staff. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown. With that, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. Next, we'll move on to the approval of a contract with Pronto Paving for parking lot asphalt replacement at 4217 Edmonston Road, the annex lot, in an amount not to exceed $12,800. Town Administrator Bailey Hedgepeth, did you want to give a recap before we move forward?
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember McBride. And sticking with Ward 2, Councilmember Blunt.
Good evening, constituents in Ward 2 and Ward 1. I always just have comments, and speaking to the residents in Ward 1, if you're not here, if you know residents in Ward 1, seniors, can you please get in touch with Ray and give him your information so that you don't feel left out when we do have community events? Because there's a lot of houses that's located in Ward 1 opposed to Ward 2. So you might feel left out, but please get in touch with Ray and give him your information so that you can get information of what's going on. And it's mainly speaking of what just happened with Newton Green, but again, we need our seniors to know that we do care. Also, no, I've said that already, but other than that, nothing else.
Thank you, Councilmember Blunt. And similar to the rest of the council members attended a lot of the same events, I'll just highlight a few. On June 8th, there was a Port Towns sector plan workshop and community event, this time Colmar Manor hosted in Laracy Park, which is located in Colmar Manor. So that was great to have MNC PPC out there soliciting more community input for the Port Town sector plan. I also attended the MML Leadership Lunch in early June, which is for their executive committee and any committee chairs to basically report out on the activities that your respective committees have done. We promoted pretty well in the town of Bladensburg the 4th grade contest, If I Were Mayor. And this year we received 18 volunteers from the municipal staff and elected officials to help read the essays and judge them. We received 1,326 essays from our 4th graders across the state. And the award ceremony for the 2nd year in a row was attended by Governor Wes Moore. So we were very grateful to have him there to give out the awards and then also take photographs with our students. It was very inspirational. The other thing, as was reported, I did have the chance to join Miss Margaret Hubbard on the COG Farm Committee call about urban farming specifically to encourage other communities to do that. I want to celebrate the class of 1974 for Bladensburg High School. Last month, they celebrated their 50th high school class reunion. 50, yes, and they looked amazing. I want to shout out Mr. Colts, or Dr. Clifton Colts, who was one of the main organizers for that event. And then also, I think it was Coach Jones from Bladensburg High School, who got permission for us to take the alumni through the school and seeing their faces. I mean, these folks are 80 years old and coming, or in their 70s, and coming back to the school and seeing the changes and renovations was really exciting for them. So it was nice to be a part of that. And then, as was stated earlier, I had the opportunity, thanks to our residents, to have professional development at MML. I'm grateful to have been elected back to the board for a 2nd year in a row. And thank you. And also this time around to the executive committee for MML. So it's more work, but it's a great opportunity to represent the town and have our voices elevated amongst the league. And I want to give a special thanks to Senator Augustine, because he was a speaker in one of the sessions that was called Pitch Your Policy. And the whole premise around this session was to frame it like ABC's Shark Tank. So they had pre-selected people to come with your pitch for legislation, and you had to pitch it to, I think it was 2 senators, one of the governor's office staffers, and another individual. And just sitting in that session really was eye-opening in terms of how we need to be more thoughtful when we approach them with our ask, and to also have awareness for all the considerations they have. So sometimes when they say no to our ideas, we need to not take it personally, but really understand they're making decisions across the state. And sometimes there's more factors involved that we need to just be mindful of as we're building our legislative asks. So going into September, when we come back and have that conversation with Mr. Perez and his team, I can share a little bit more about that so we can work together to think about how to pitch our policies in a way where they actually are getting approved. So with that, that concludes my report. It is written, but again, thank you to the residents for all your support. We have now come to the end of our agenda. May I have a motion to adjourn? So moved by Councilmember Dixon, seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. We're adjourned. Enjoy your summer. We'll see you in September. Good night.
Congratulations,
9:03.